So the Crimson Vow
Yeah.
opening through and you'd think I'd be all excited about like cool badass vampire art and like all the gothic wedding bullshit and the vampire hunters breaking through stained glass. Nah, I'm just real excited about that courier bat. Every time I see him, I'm just like, it's my boy! Look at him! He's working so hard! Like, I hope he's getting tips. Like, he's delivering all these invites. Like, I'm just, every time, just like, bat!
Damn, he working it.
He working hard.
I'm not gonna lie, Crimson Vow was pretty disappointing for me.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for, like, crazy vampire shit. I was hoping for, like, vampire clerics out the wazoo. I was hoping for all sorts of neat shit. And then it was like, Bloodlust Celebrant. Gets a +1 or creates a blood token when he deals damage.
I think it's just because the aesthetics lean so hard into Castlevania, so we were just kind of all just like, is Dracula gonna have the bisexual manicure?
Right.
Like, how hard in the paint are we going?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm just saying, if you're gonna be futzing with lady bits, like having those 2 nails trimmed is very important.
Yeah, you can't be coming in there with daggers.
No, I don't.
Some people are into it, but
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can. It just takes more delicacy. You can't just be like, brah!
Yeah,
And
no.
you Kali Ma, her uterus.
Yeah, and I was like, as much as I would like to have mine taken out, no, I'm good. Like,
you don't want Dracula just snipping it out with his fingernails?
nah. Even if it was Christopher Lee, like, nah, I'm good.
It's really telling that is your, like, even if was you went to, like, Christopher Lee. Over all the, like, weird bisexual, like, vampire characters there's been over the years, you're like,
Christopher
not
Lee.
even Christopher Lee.
Look,
You could have gone Gary Coleman.
Christopher Lee is way more attractive than Gary Oldman, for one. Like, especially if you're going by, like, comparative ages. Also, Christopher Lee has, like, shot Nazis, so I'm like, yeah.
Also kind
Yeah.
of a bonus.
See, I thought you said Gary Coleman, and I was very confused.
Oh my God,
that's a very different.
If he wasn't dead, I'd want to see a Dracula movie starring Gary Coleman.
He might have been one. I know he was in Postal. He's done all kinds of wild stuff. And the first result is Gary Coleman versus the state of Florida Supreme Court. So I'm guessing no. Never mind. He was never a vampire.
Never mind. Speaking of vampires, we have a podcast.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah,
welcome
we
to
do.
Blank Bodies.
V5 podcast.
Horror, tabletop, etc.
Yeah, any spooky shits.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Hunter. And as always, I'm joined by...
This is John.
Hi, Sarah. Hello.
And our lore bot.
James.
Yeah, so other than Gary Coleman, Gary Oldman confusion, what are we talking about today?
Predator types. Predator types is one of the bigger changes for V5 compared to other vampire systems. So we're going to talk about it a little bit.
It's cool as shit.
It's cool as shit. And
You mean feeding matters?
oh my God, eating people is a big part of being a monster, and maybe we should explore that as a theme. Oh my God, you are what you eat. So, and in this game, that means that actually affects your stats and shit. So,
Nice.
So you telling me this game's going to teach me the same lessons as Pajama Sam?
who the fuck's Pajama Sam?
You never played Pajama Sam?
No,
It's like Freddy Fish and Putt Putt and iFox.
no.
All those like children's point and click games by Humongous. The people who did Monkey Island went on to make like kids games.
Bro.
I played Putt Putt.
Yeah, he went to the moon.
Pajama Sam
Oh, you mean
sounds
King's
like
Quest?
somebody that should not be around children.
No, King's Quest was Sierra. These are LucasArts people.
Yeah, nah. When I was but a wee lass, I was in the place where history comes from, and I was mostly like fucking around in tide pools.
There's some tide pools in Freddy Fish.
Anywho, so predator types, that is something you pick at character creation, and it will flesh out like how your character interacts with peoples, and you get some cool stats. There are predator pools that will affect like how easy it is for you to feed and get the blood points or the hunger things, so you don't like die.
Or how you feed.
Or how you feed, yeah. And this will also affect the kind of mortals that you kind of run into, and will affect the resonances that are easy for you to get, which will affect bonuses for you doing disciplines. You know, those cool vampire things that we all
Vampire
like.
superpowers.
Yeah! The big defining thing about being a vampire is the blood drinking, so you know.
Yeah, and it even ties into like your character's moral outlook, the morality system overall.
Yeah, it's neat.
It's almost like it's a core function of the game.
Right? Oh my God.
I am really sorry about that.
That's okay.
You're fine. Most of it was off the mic.
All right.
You're doing your best. So, what the fuck is a predator type?
Boop, boop, boopity, boop.
Yeah, this is the manner in which your character prefers to feed. You're not locked into whatever predator type you pick this is the only way you have to feed.
So we're not all Ventru, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, the Ventru are still locked into their, like, whatever their preference is.
Right.
So, like, if they're into blondes, they can have a blonde, but then it's like, are they chasing them down in a back alley? Are they, like, schmoozing them? Are they just actually asking permission?
Are they breaking into their house and eating while they sleep?
Are they the kind that only eats animals, so they're going after, like, blonde dogs or horses, I guess?
Oh, those poor golden retrievers.
I know.
The golden retriever is not gonna know. As
doesn't
long
give
as
a
it
fuck.
doesn't die, it's just gonna be like, "Grr."
This is loving. Okay, it's touching me.
We're friends. I get so many snacks after this.
I get to eat like a whole bag of oranges.
Damn.
Are you giving dogs oranges?
I would assume.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's
you
good
be-
or not, but I wouldn't do it.
Could you be a consensualist and solely feed off golden retrievers?
Can dogs consent? That's...
If the dog
If
comes
Feral
up to you
whispers.
and is like, hey, here's my neck. I think that's like
You
similar.
can ghoul animals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but the function... We'll get into consensuals later, but I'm just like, you're asking if a dog can give consent, and I was like, I don't know if the dog has the brain capacity to understand consent. I don't think so.
I think the answer is only if you're Gangrel.
Only if you have animalism, you can take feral whispers, and then you should be able to be like, "Are you okay if?"
Can I eat part of you?
Okay, so...
Poor Sarah.
Yeah.
You just look like we're breaking you right now.
I'm very sleepy. But, yeah. This is also a script that we recorded once and now are doing again, so I'm rereading some of the things I've written, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about this. So, yeah, the example I'd written in the script was, so you know those videos of, like, you know, deer, where all like, deer, they eat grass and leaves and fruit and all that. They're herbivores. They're well-known herbivores, but then there's all these videos of them just, like, eating birds and chewing on bones and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how predator types work.
Okay, you prefer the grass, but hey, if there's a dead bird right there, why not?
Yeah, just like if you're in a situation, depending on like what your blood potency is, because that's kind of the main contributor on like your cutoffs. Because if your blood potency is too high, like you can't eat blood bags anymore or animals, and you have to snack on multiple people to knock down the same level of hunger because it's just like it's not doing it for you anymore.
Right.
You know?
Also, like, it's kind of like me. Like, I largely eat vegan, but if someone offers me a cheeseburger, I'm not going to be like,
No.
You're not gonna be like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
no, I'm going to eat a meal today.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, because there was that like period of time where we're all basically freegan because of poverty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dumpsters.
So many dumpster donuts. Yes. So how do the predator types work? Yeah, basically a character creation. Each player, you pick one predator type that works best for the character you're doing. This can be done through the theming of the predator type, or if you're an asshole like me, sometimes you just go, look, I really want auspex. Which of these predator types gives me auspex?
Honestly, I really like to try and have predator type be a defining factor of how my character likes to look at the world. Mm-hmm. You know, like Gideon had Alley Cat, which kind of made sense because he was the closest thing to Sabat that a Camarilla city would let be in their city limits.
Yeah.
So being an alley cat made sense, you know? And I don't know.
It's just an extension of like being a vampire. So you're like, pillaging.
Right. Pillage, take it. It is mine.
Well, yeah, I feel like it is a core. You know, it's not like for us as easy it is to draw lines between, and we joked about, like, it's like being vegan or whatnot, but like, you are taking a human life, or at least like putting one in danger and hurting someone. Mm-hmm. So how you prefer to go about that says a lot about your character and their view on humans and the world around them. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're just like, yeah, I cut their head off and just like suck the juice out of the wound, or like, no, I need to get permission. Like, that's going to really shade your character in very different ways.
Yeah.
Or the creepiest one, which I still think is Cleaver, which is, I have a pretend family that I just feed off of. They don't know I'm dead.
It's
And I'm just like,
stepfather.
it is the stepfather! Terry O'Quinn! Fucking, Which doesn't help that at the beginning of that movie, that Terry O'Quinn looks almost exactly like my dad. Like, just strong Unabomber energy. And I'm just like, oh God, Father, why are you showing me this? I have concerns. If you're looking at the list of the predator types, the canonical lists are, there's the main list that's in the core book, starting page 175. There is one predator type in the Splat book, Let the Streets Run Red, that's tied into the Chicago verse, on page 76. And there's 2 more in the Cult of the Blood Gods book on page 150.
Nice.
Those are the canonical ones. There are some more Predator type thingies in stuff from the Storyteller's Vault, and there's a pretty good like homebrew fan site called like V5 Homebrew that's got some fun Predator types. But I had not the time to break those down and decide how they break down with like point spreads, so I don't have those in my notes.
I would also...
I'll forgive you.
I would also be wary, run them by your ST, or do some math. I found that a lot of fan like homebrew sites can be very unbalanced, even if they don't look at it first. Like, I think anyone who's played like D&D 3.5 knows the horrors of the 3.5 wiki.
Oh yeah.
Which is saying something when you look at the content of 3.5 that is official.
I only brought up the V5 like homebrew, like the major wiki, because I had gone through most of those, and most of them seem fairly balanced. And I'm like, I as an ST would probably let you do those if it made sense. And you know, you could of course double check the numbers just to make sure your party's somewhat balanced. But worst case, if it's not actually balanced on paper, use the ST can be like, I can hurt you with plot. I'll let you have this mechanical advantage on the counterbalance of this is gonna suck for you.
Right.
Strap in, homie. But run your tables how you wish. Each predator type will have a little blurb about the theming of the type and list its little benefits and flaws. Generally, a predator type will come with the player's choice of one of 2 specialties for a skill. The skill will be tied into what the theming of the predator type is. You get a choice of one of 2 disciplines as like a dot. This is a good way to get out of clan discipline access. If you're a monster like me, that's just like...
Yep.
This ability would be really good to have for this character concept, but the concept I've built so far does not come with this thing, so now I've got to make it work.
Alec has fortitude.
That's scary.
As a meat
As a meat you should not have fortitude. That's spooky. No. Yeah, and then you get a list of some advantage dots and some flaws. You get some like little merits. Sometimes it's like herd or resources, and some flaws are just like you have an ex-boyfriend that hates you, or you have enemies, or people know you're a corpse. You know, shit like that. Yeah, it adds to the fun backstory for your character. In the XP breakdown of these, most of the predator types basically give your character a 13 XP boost at the start of creation. There are some that fuck with your potency and or humanity that really fucking skew that if you're looking at it from a pure XP standpoint. But those are narratively such a kind of kick in the genital area that I think it's fine. Because there's like, I think Alley Cat is one where your humanity goes down a step, which going down from like 7 to 6 humanity is the equivalent of like losing 60 XP.
Yeah.
But it also frees your character up on the doing moral choices thing, because you're probably going to be doing some shady shit as an alley cat, and you're like, okay, I've got more of a buffer on the humanity scale to fuck around.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
And then on the opposite end of that, like consensualist for me, I love it. It's a lot of fun to role play, but I feel like as far as point spread goes, it's kind of meh.
Yeah.
Because you get that one extra humanity, but what does that really do for you other than bragging points? Like being able to look at someone and be like, I'm sorry, I'm sipping wine. What did you say?
Oh, I love doing that because I'm an asshole. But,
Same. Alec does it every time we go anywhere.
We will talk about that in just a second.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. We decided as a group to highlight a few predator types. So just for ease of things, I think we're going to do the list backwards this time.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's okay. So consensualist. We're going to go into it. Let's go.
Hey-o.
Who wants to read the blurb on consensualist?
You never feed against your victim's free will. You masquerade as a representative of a charity blood drive, as a blood-drinking kink lord in the quote-unquote real vampire community, or by actually telling your victims what you are and getting their permission to feed. The Camarilla call that last method a masquerade breach, but any anarch philosophers consider it an acceptable risk. You could have been anything in life, but a sex worker, a political organizer, or a lawyer could be wary of feeding without consent. That's from the core book on page 177.
Yeah.
Consensualist is a fun one. I know Sarah likes to play
I do.
those a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't played one myself, but I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, it more or less intense depending on like how you set up your convictions. Because like I've set up characters where it's like I'm playing a consensualist and I based their convictions off of some of the tenets from the Satanic Temple, and they're really big about like bodily autonomy and consent and compassion within reason and that kind of stuff. So it's just like, not only do I have this feeding type, I've set myself up where it's like, yeah, if I don't actually follow through with that, like I get stains. Like I am fucked. It's
I think
exciting.
Consensualist is a lot of fun to play. Alec is the first one I've ever used Consensualist with, and it's kind of fun to play because it's like, it's also kind of interesting to figure out where that boundary of consent is on that. Like Alec, his ghoul is pretty much his main like source of food, which then you have the debate of do ghouls have consent? Question marks.
Yeah.
Alec got around that by writing out an actual contract before he ghouled her, though.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, before you give you the blood drug.
Right. This is what's going to be happening. This is why it's going to be happening. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, and it's also just kind of interesting in stories because I've played Consensualist now with some more veteran vampire players, and yeah, some of them are a little... They're intrigued, but they're not entirely used to playing vampire where people actually give a fuck about being like, hey, I need to find somebody who's cool with me doing this.
Yeah.
Even if I'm just like wrapping it up in a like, yeah, I'm just having a Tinder hookup and I'm just really into biting and yeah, we totally had sex. Bye.
One thing I think is really interesting, though, that kind of goes along with what Skipper was talking, and I think draws a big line on that one, is that consensualist and bagger are two separate feeding types. So, like, the actual act of getting consent from someone is much more important than just avoiding the unpleasantness of the situation. You know, if you're just a bagger, you don't have to engage. You're actively trying to disengage with the act of feeding for whatever reason. But like someone who is a consensualist is into like to some degree like that actual feeding process, and but they're like, hey, you cool with this? And I think there's a big difference, but those two can be very, depending how you play them, they could be similar, but there's a very stark line between the two.
Yeah, because I've gotten into that in a game where there were a lot of people that were doing bagged blood for personal or clan bane related reasons. And so they would offer my character, who is the consensualist, the bagged blood. And I'm just like, where did that come from? Were these people like willing and stuff? You said that there was like human trafficking in the area. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. Like, nah, I'm good.
All right, so that's consensualist. Next, we have Sandman. You rely on your stealth or disciplines to feed from sleeping victims. They never wake during the feeding. They won't know you exist. Perhaps you were very antisocial in life. You don't feel cut out for the intense interpersonal nightlife or physical violence of more extroverted hunters. It's from the core book.
Yeah.
177.
So,
Same.
Sandman. Sandman.
Bring me a dream.
Yep.
Very different from the comic book.
Yes, yep. It is. It's very
Yeah.
much one.
I feel like he would actually have consensualists as well.
Probably.
Sandman?
Yeah.
Or Dream?
First of
That's
all,
questionable.
Yeah.
He has some weird morals sometimes.
first of all, he'd be a changeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely. Come on.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's
It would be the
best thing
box
to
that
fit.
he would.
It's the best thing to fit in, yeah.
But yeah, Sandman was one we want to cover because you can get a wide gambit of kind of morality spread because you can go from I am trying to be as unobtrusive and non-harmful to the people that I'm feeding on as possible by just like, I'm not even going to talk to them. I'm just going to get in, get out, dip, to absolute unhinged, creepy night stalker like Psycho.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I mean, I think the base reading of it can be just like traditional vampire folklore. Like that is like when you think of Dracula or like old vampire stories, it's something comes in the night and takes blood from you, and all of a sudden you're like sick or like faint in the morning. You don't feel rested, and you're like, well, what the fuck is going on?
You get that classic image of like the fog rolling through the window frame and then forming into a vampire they eat, and then bats away.
Yes. Or it's a wolf that just jumps through the window and you're like,
Yeah.
what? I am in a suburb.
Where did this wolf come from?
What the fuck?
Only thing I envy the vampires for. Just, Now I'm bats.
Just I'm done with this. Good day, and just explodes into a cloud.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did. Yeah, because you and I've talked about X from LA by Night and the way they handle their predator type, which is they live amongst the homeless, and he's like, so their lives are shit. I have to feed. If me feeding on them makes them feel good, I can at least like give them pleasant dreams and give them like, this is the tiny bit of comfort I can give these people.
It's so fucking cute.
And it's just like,
Also
oh,
terrifying, but super cute.
I'm just like, oh, our little disaster queer.
Yeah.
Baby. So you can try to thread that needle of like, I'm trying to be a good person. Or you can go full on like, but what if I drug them?
Yeah,
I like
mean,
it when they don't fight.
Yeah, you could play like almost a Black Widow style character where you're chloroforming people or like intentionally like ODing them on drugs or
Just a la Batman, just aggressively power napping people.
yeah.
Go to sleep. I'm really good at hugging.
Yeah, I hug so
Let
good.
me hug your neck.
Yeah, I hug so good your ribs don't move.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I think the Sandman's really interesting. They're all pretty open to interpretation, but I think there's such a wide swath of things you can do, even just because like it ties so directly into the folklore, and then there's just so much weird shit you can do, either putting people to sleep or
I just thought of like somebody who's just like trolls Tinder a whole bunch, finds people to go like sleep with them at their house, just waits for them to fall asleep after the fucking, and then a snack.
Yeah.
They actually have one in the player's guide. That's Manic Pixie Dream Girl. That's kind of like that.
Oh,
really?
yeah, the Storyteller's Vault.
Yeah, Storyteller's
Yeah.
Vault, real good. Yeah, it does
Yeah.
that exact thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like another version for Sandman, if you want to lean into like real life like psychosis for like murderers and serial murders, is I still can't remember the name of it. The thing the Manson family did where they would like break into people's houses when they're sleeping and just like rearrange their furniture and like write on the walls and then leave.
I mean, that's kind of a segment of gang stalking.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you could do a similar thing where it's like, I will feed on this person when they're asleep because they're like the least dangerous to me, but I still want to instill them with just fucking terror and discomfort for whatever reason. And so they wake up and they're like, oh, I didn't sleep well. I don't feel good. And they just like come into their living room and everything's moved 2 feet to the left. And there's just like a big smiley face on the wall. And I'm just like, no.
Yeah, that's kind of terrifying.
it's like, am I sleepwalking? Is someone doing this to me? Why is that van parked in front of the house?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
leave their front door wide open.
As somebody who's done studies on sleepwalk, no, you didn't move stuff.
That doesn't mean that person doesn't know. That
Oh, no, I'm
person
just
doesn't
letting
know
you...
that.
this is just a, hey, if you're listening to this episode,
Yeah.
you might want to get some security cameras.
Yeah, just break into their house, just steal the jar of peanut butter every time. I don't know. You can
That's-
get silly or just
Just
like,
swap their cold and hot water lines.
yeah.
That's the Dane Cook bit. Just break into their house, steal their batteries out of the remote control.
No, I thought the Dane Cook bit was you break in and you leave something like a fruit basket.
I think it was leave a fruit basket and steal their batteries out of the remote controls every night.
Yeah, so this can go from very insidious to just kind of like a what the fuck?
It's an interesting one. It's not one I've seen a lot of people do either, which is part of why I picked it for the episode. I think it could be really cool if you're going to get into your feeding scenes, although it is a harder one if you're going to kind of hand wave a lot of feeding.
Yeah.
It's more just like, oh, found someone asleep. Moving on.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like I'm keeping tabs on these houses because they're easy to break into, and these are my regular stops. Oh god, just have like notebooks keeping track of like, oh, he got his promotion at work. Good for him. Like,
Oh, and that's also good for an ST. Just be like, yeah, by the way, if you have a staple of houses you break into, you probably aren't the only one that notices these places are easy to break into. Feeding complication. You come in to break in to feed, and somebody is robbing that motherfucker. What do you do now?
just
I was just hungry. Bye.
You could even put points into herd for something like that. It's just like, I live in a big neighborhood where everyone's pretty like middle upper wealthy, so they're like pretty lax about security, and I can kind of just wander in and out as I please.
Or it's Canada where they just don't lock their doors.
yeah, or you could be like, I got hired as like the night maintenance guy in an apartment building, so I just have the keys to everybody's apartment.
That's a very Keanu Reeves hotel manager from Neon Demon.
Yeah.
Scary
And we're just
shit.
like, no.
Yeah.
Just remember, folks, your deadbolt's a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the cool little chainy bit.
Yeah. Yes. Speaking of chain locks,
Ew.
And not exactly friends.
roadside killer.
Yeah. You belong with vagabonds, tourists, and truckers of the world, always moving, never at home. You know how to pick out the ones whose deaths are discounted as the risk of a woman hitchhiking alone, or simply won't be missed at all. You still have to fight to keep other vampires away from them, lest the herd thins too much. Though, in life, you either were one of them, or you met these vagrants as they rested at your roadside stop. I feel this one is in the vein of, like, Near Dark.
Yeah, or like John Carpenter's Vampires or 30 Days of Night.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, because, I mean, it goes in both directions. It's either you're the one who is transient or you're specifically feeding on people who are transient, whether it be
Combination of both.
whether it be transient in the homeless sense or transient in, like, a truck driver or a, like a Greyhound bus driver or just someone who travels for work.
Oh, I just thought of like a railroad bulldog
Yeah.
who's on the road tracks. He just finds like train hoppers and feeds on them.
Damn.
Which I will also bring up on our predator types. One of the big things about this is also up to interpretation, because a person who works in a homeless facility and feeds off the homeless population could be a roadside killer, or they could be a Sandman. Both of those work. Like, this is up to your interpretation.
Oh, you could even
And-
be a consensualist with that.
Bingo,
You could be
exactly.
like, "Hey, you're homeless, man. Let me I'm getting
Like,
taking blood donations. I'll pay you $40."
Yeah, I'll pay you $40, and I know life sucks and you don't feel great. This is gonna kind of feel like heroin, but it's not gonna be addictive
Right.
as long as I don't give you any of mine.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to go about this. I like this one just because you can either have a game that's more focused on like working class people and just kind of the struggles of different lifestyles. There's also, getting into the nitty gritty of like who counts as important when they get murdered, especially if you're like worried about like masquerade breaches, because like white college student girl probably gonna end up having billboards and people that care about her and have the money to like drop on private investigators and shit. If you want to be a real scumfuck and you want to go after like the brown trans lady, because the cops are not gonna give a shit.
Yeah. Or again, the hundreds of indigenous women.
Yeah, that's oh god, it's terrible. Please
Yeah,
donate money if you can.
One white influencer disappears for 2 seconds
Oh my
in
god.
an estate, and then same thing. Hundreds of transient, indigenous people.
As I say, I saw a really good movie recently that's kind of about that topic, Sarah. Have you ever seen the movie Angel?
Yes.
About like the basically like 16-year-old prostitute who has to like work to pay for her education and board, and it takes place in like old Hollywood, and it's a bunch of like the main characters are like a drag queen and one of the last surviving like Western cowboy actors, and they're dealing with a serial killer who is specifically preying on like prostitutes,
Yeah.
sex workers.
Oh, for sure.
And so they it really goes into that. It's like, do the cops really care? They're investigating, but what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's a great movie. Pretty sad, but it's a good movie.
It's really good. Yeah. And even if you want to like flip reverse this, you can go very the Punisher or Jason Todd with this character, where it's like you could be somebody who's from this background and you're just like, okay, I know these streets. These are my streets, and now I have superpowers. I'm gonna do something about this.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't really thought about it that way. I think the name roadside killer is a bit of a misnomer. You don't necessarily have to be like murdering people,
Yeah.
but I do like the idea of like you're just gonna like try and be an actual superhero. Like, oh, I have this little like group I take care of. Have you seen the movie? I think it's Blood and Donuts.
Yes.
Yeah, it's where like the vampire wakes up and he starts like protecting the like little donut shop and stuff that he sleeps
Yes.
above from like local thugs, and like you could turn it into like that kind of story where it's just like, well, the cops don't do anything. The area is kind of controlled by like gang or like criminal activity, but I'm going to take a stand right here in my little neighborhood.
Yeah. Or hell, you can do the vampire version of, the guy in the neighborhood that like shoots the shotgun into the ground to keep prices down for the rent.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, well, I'm not into killing people, but if I kill like one guy every couple of years and just leave his corpse on the road, like
The property values are going to just plummet.
yeah. And that's why that's how he's defeating gentrification. He just
Oh god, the first just tech bar and crypto farm that moves in, just 2 corpses on the side of the road, just to be like, oh, never mind, don't invest in this place.
just 2 corpses, give them each a gun, like, oh no, they shot each other.
Yeah.
Oh, shame.
Shucks.
They shot each other both in the neck.
He ran into my knife 9 times.
I just kept slipping. I don't know. It must have been a mysterious case of summer ice.
Again, my musical background over here, it was like he ran into my knife 15 times.
Yes.
It's really interesting, a little local story, but one of those fucking shitty HGTV shows recently bought a house down in one of the more like hip, upcoming but like not super affluent neighborhoods in town.
Oh god.
And I have a friend who lives like right across from the street from this house that they basically gutted and fixed up for like some cutesy like upper middle class white people TV show, and they fucking destroyed the neighborhood. Like they ripped out neighbors' yards to put like to upgrade piping and like never fixed it. Like damaged sidewalks, and like the city's basically just hand waving it because they paid the permits for like filming and stuff. It's like a nightmare, and
That's
they're
awful.
like gonna jack up like local property. My friend who lives there said his rent went up $100 the day after they announced the show was going to be filming in the neighborhood.
That is horseshit.
Yeah.
Fuck HGTV.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. I do like having a story that you brought up. Just like the idea of sacrificing human life to the machine of gentrification is like so ripe for like storytelling and
Yeah, and it kind of leans into some vampire theming because there's definitely in the United States a theming of anytime there's like a gilded age and that economic boom starts to cycle down, vampire media tends to pop up. And not that that's happening right now and should be a theme that we are exploring or anything, but you know.
yeah.
But it is.
Boom. So on lighter news, we made a predator type as a freebie.
Heyo.
Ew. And you know, it's Updog,
Wait, what's up, dog?
the predator type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was we were sitting over these, and one of the things we wanted to do was create a new predator type to share with you guys. At the time, I was reading a book about psychic vampires, and I had mentioned it to Sarah, and it was like a lightning bolt. She was like, I know what we're doing. She fucking ran with it. She put this all together.
I kind of based it off of Colin Robinson from What We Do in the Shadows.
I will say is somehow the best and the worst character on that show at the same time.
As I've said, Colin Robinson is baby.
If you haven't seen this show, check it out. It's a lot of good.
It's real
a lot
good.
of good times.
Good times, good jokes. Yeah. So the blurb I wrote was, you never really felt like you fit in. Maybe you're socially awkward. Maybe no one has acknowledged your innate gifts. You savor the taste of altering a mortal's resonance to perfection. Nothing really gets you going more than changing the mood of a room. The focus needs to be on you, and you'll do what it takes to get it. In life, these folks may range from prima donna performers to corporate middle management. Regardless, many find you to be annoying, even other vampires.
Yeah. So the core idea is that you are no matter the way you go about it, you are changing someone's core like emotional state to the point that you may even affect their blood resonance before you feed on them.
Yeah, your sweet spot is to have a resonance shift or mushing of some sort. You need to change it a little bit. It's not quite dialed in where you want it to be, so you gotta mess with them in some way to like make it your vibe. You know, you're basically you're being a mixologist for people's emotional states.
Yeah, it can be either a very silly character or a very, very like manipulative, fucked up.
I was just thinking think of the older sibling that's like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you until you're like screaming.
Yeah, and then you get in trouble. Yeah, that was like a good third of my childhood.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's very exciting on that regard. So, the point spreads are the specialty dots will either be fast talking for persuasion or academics, trivia. Just general trivia. You just know a bunch about random shit, and you'll interject it constantly.
Well, actually, I don't know if you knew this, but a sperm whale's penis is prehensile.
That had nothing to do with this meeting.
Oh, well, now
I'm
you
talking
know.
about it.
And just cycling back to the same. It just, oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Or fast talking. Like, have you ever answered the door and there's like a salesman from some phone company or some internet utility trying to get you to switch, and like you just immediately like, oh no, and the sales pitch starts and you're just sitting there like, oh God, just like dreading like when are they going to take a breath so that I can ask them to fucking leave.
No.
Or even worse, those dudes that would show up at Piss House where they'd come trying to sell that like liquid cleaner. Did you guys ever have to talk to those dudes?
No, I never
This
talked to
homie
them.
pulled me out of the house so he could show me how well it would clean the front of my car's
Like bumper.
headlights.
Oh, God.
He was like, "It's edible, watch," and he like ate some of it. It was fucking nuts. To be honest, after a while, I was like, "Get it, bro. I'm gonna watch how far this goes."
It's like, how long is this pitch going to take?
Yeah,
Let's
but
find
How
out.
much of your time am I gonna waste?
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, the first like 10 minutes of it did get more and more uncomfortable until finally it just rolled around into this is nuts.
Yeah.
I remember introverted people just immediately say no or go, I already have it.
Or you can do what one of our roommates did, because we used to have Mormons that would come to the door all the time, and he had like almost most of his body tattooed, had a little handlebar mustache and subdermal horn implants, and he had, as he described it, a Dale Gribble body. And one time he just answered the door with his twirly mustache and little horns and just tidy whities at like at the crack at like 9 a.m. It was like, yes, up. They stopped coming to the door.
When in doubt, if you answer the door nearly naked, they'll usually be like, okay, never mind.
Or you can do what my dad did, which so my hometown has a lot of Mormon. There's like 2 big Mormon churches, I think, or 1 big one. I don't remember. But we had a lot of Mormons in town, so a lot of them would train for missionary work in our town. So they would come door to door all the time. Well, my dad decided we were doing some like work around the house that he would befriend them, and like he would talk to them, but essentially he would like get them to help him build the deck in the backyard for like lemonade. Like he'd give them lemonade and snacks, and they'd like hang out and like they helped us like repair our deck. And
Your
like,
father is accidentally like perfect for this predator type.
Yeah.
Where you just fast talk these kids into being like, oh yeah, no, that sounds really great. You want to help me move these 2x4s? Like, you seem thirsty. Do you want lemonade?
yeah, he fast talk the fast talkers.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's so good. Yeah, fucking. All right, so the disciplines are either going to be 1 dot in dominate or 1 dot in presence. Because either you're going to be really charming or really intimidating, or you're going to be like, no, you are going to sit down and watch this PowerPoint presentation I've made about why everybody in the office is not able to meet their sales goals.
And that doesn't even, I mean, you wouldn't even have to, with dominate, necessarily have to be like intimidating or like, roar. You could just be like, all right, everybody, sit down. We're going to watch this.
We have
seems
sensitivity
friendly.
training to get through.
Right.
And now we're going to do trust exercises. Everybody's just
Bobby,
like,
stand on the table.
I hate it. It's great, but I hate it. So the advantages will be 3 dots in contacts. Because, you know a guy. Because they were a friend of your cousin. Oh, wait, they were your cousin's ex, but they're also a friend of your former deli guy. But then, also, can I eat deli anymore? Does it matter? I keep buying roast beef.
Well, actually, the etymology of the word deli is...
You also get 3 dots in herd. This will be a group of mortals that you torment or entertain constantly, often against their better judgment.
Yeah, so it doesn't even have to be sinister, whether you're tormenting people or like preying on them. You could be an entertainer. You could be like either a rock star with like a big following, who you're like, I get them all jacked up on adrenaline and then take a bite after the show. Or like you could work at a piano bar and just like charm the pants off people, and then
You could just be like the local, like the hot person at the local like stand-up circuits. Where everybody's just like, oh yeah, he's fucking great. Like just super on it. It's able to like do crowd work, and just there's like people in the community that are just like, yeah, Steve, rock on, or whatever.
You could even just be like a cool bartender.
Yeah.
I was
Doing
actually
like
just thinking you could even just like own a party house.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's again to their detriment. Like, oh man, Steve throws great parties, but God, I'm gonna be fucking hungover tomorrow.
That's kind of how the police got started. They were all known in the UK as like well-known like party people. That's where like bands and stuff would go. And then they got Sting to sing. No one liked Sting, but the rest of them were like just like cool. Like they're just like well-known. Like they knew how to get stuff. They
cool.
were like
That's cool.
partiers and.
I really thought that you meant like the police. As
Yeah,
in,
like the Bobbies, because my brain was
Yeah.
like, Sting wasn't around for Jack the Ripper. I'm very confused. But that makes sense. That is good. So the flaws. You have 3 dots in flaws that you can split between adversary or status. Either a major swath of the vampire community cannot stand you for whatever reasons, or you have really, really, really upset a specific kindred that has a never-ending quest to end you because of your never-ending dad jokes.
And it could be anything. Like I mentioned a musician. Well, what if you had some big local artist and you kind of swoop in and took over their like fan base? People stopped going to see them to see you instead, and they have a big vendetta against you.
Yeah.
You could steal someone's clients by just charming them off them. There's all kinds of ways you could make an enemy.
I love the idea of, you know, you're a bartender or a comedian, and you know there's a vampire who's been working on like farming a resonance off of a person for a year and a half, and then they come to your show and like you do such a good job making them laugh. You know what? They're not as depressed as they have been in the past couple months. And that vampire's like, what the fuck, man?
I have been working on this sad boy for 18 months.
And you're like, huh? Oh, shit, man. I didn't even know I did it.
I was just telling dick jokes, which is really funny because my humanity's so low, I can't get a boner anymore, but I'll still keep talking about my dick.
And now you have an enemy.
Right, or,
whoops.
you know, if you're going to go like the more sinister, just like boring, or just like mind-numbing, it's like, oh my God, this guy won't shut the fuck up. The local toreador could just be like, this guy is such a suppressant, like emotionally on beauty, that we all just fucking don't like this guy because his personality is just beige.
Or even more, it's like this dude keeps coming to my art gallery and just talking quote unquote about art. People haven't been showing up recently because of it.
And he's not even a critic. Like, he's not even publishing anything about the work. He's just there and annoying people. And I worked really hard on this, and he's chasing away clients.
Yeah,
Or-
I like it.
Or you could even be like kind of a stereotype, but like an actual art critic who like, you know, you just pull artists aside and you make them talk about their work endlessly. Like, so what were you thinking when you made this piece? Oh, really? Well, I see there's a little bit of this blue in here. Why'd you use blue?
This blue is
Yeah,
actually tied into Prussian blue, which is known to be used in art that's often involved with the Mary Magdalene. Are you trying to make a comment about the Madonna whore complex?
Oh wait, you said
And you're
that
like,
that
I
was
just
just
used
a
blue.
mistake. You just accidentally put that. No, I don't believe
This
that.
art's actually
Give me-
really derivative of the early Jackson Pollock work, which really isn't quite as involved because his alcoholism hasn't quite set in yet.
Yeah, you're just
Are you
like,
saying
you
I should
act-
drink?
Yeah. Do you have alcoholism? Or is this a realist thing or an impressionist thing?
Or, you know, your thing could just be like negging people. And you just do it constantly to the point where you just do it to Kinder and you don't think about it. And now there's just chunks of the community that are just like, I fucking hate this guy because every time I talk to him, he talks about my bad ears. And he won't shut the fuck up about it. I know I'm a Nosferatu and I can't do anything about the bad ears. And it's making me really self-conscious.
you
I've
could.
gone to 3 separate Zamiti to try to get this fixed. It just grows back in the morning.
Have you ever talked to like an extremely online person in real life where it's just like, I have had this conversation with this person on like Twitter or Reddit or something before where they're either constantly just like, well, actually it's this. So if you really believe that, then just like Twitter reply guy, or like very much like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but you forgot about the plight of this group of people. So it just overwrites everything you're trying to say,
Hunter,
like either side of that argument.
I am a female presenting leftist who plays D&D and
Yes.
watches movies. Yes.
Yeah, just, just either like, but
That's like every fifth person I talk to.
but just feeding off people who you first just like actually into the ground, or you just like
actually, Galadriel wore her armor back in the
I just thought of the idea of, I like that, somebody who is just like such an internet troll that he finally gets people to be like, fucking meet me in person, we're fighting. And then he meets him in person and eats him.
I tried to do that, but the Nazi backed out, and I just ended up with $500.
He gave you $500.
I know.
That was so good.
Also, FYI, that was an episode of What We Do in the Shadows.
All right.
Oh yeah, it is. He does meet the internet troll. It's a good episode.
Damn good.
Fucking, I'm so excited for season 4 whenever that drops. It's gonna be great. I need more of the vulva topiaries.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is our creation for Predator type. It'll be in the freebies folder. If the pre-made Predator types and the one that we have provided are not enough for you, if you go to the Guide to the Sabbat in the Storyteller's Vault, there are rules for making your own custom predatory types.
it's true.
We did not have time to go over this book because we have been busy, but Jay from our patrons pointed that out for us, and thank you for letting us know.
Thanks,
We
pal.
will, if folks want us to go into more detail about that, we can. Just let us know on the social medias.
Yeah.
If that's something you guys want to know about.
And we're always open to suggestions if there's things you want us to ramble about. We
Hell yeah.
love people asking.
Yeah.
We
So
also love rambling.
we do. Speaking of that, so we got a couple of like final notes about predator types. If people are picking certain predator types and they're a little spicy, make sure everybody in the group is cool with that. Because it really sucks to have a character that's like, yeah, my predator type is I'm going to be really horny and everything's going to be very sexual and like gushy. And people at the table are like, I really don't need you to, I don't want to hear about that. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
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 Like, you can horny post on table. That's fine. Just, make sure everybody, or, just like, I'm really into chasing people down and listening to them scream. And I'm just like, you know what? I might not be in the mood to hear that at table every fucking game. Maybe we need to have a discussion about.
Maybe a talk about
how we're gonna.
eat.
Yeah. Also, feeding scenes do not have to be played out beat by beat every fucking session for everybody individually.
Yeah.
That is okay. There are predator pool roles for that. If you want to get into it for your game, fucking go for it.
But I think every once in a while,
Oh, yeah.
it could be a cool scene regardless.
yeah,
kind of
like-
bring challenges into your game, or even set up plot points.
Yeah, the book does recommend trying to do a feeding scene once every session-ish if you can, just because it is such a important part of existing as a vampire, but,
I would say do it once per player. So like each player, you rotate. So like you have 4 people at your table. After 4 games, each person will have one feeding scene.
Right.
Yeah.
To make that you can really go into, because by the time you do a feeding scene for everyone in your game, that'll be half your session if you're doing everyone full
right.
scenes. So you could do that, or you could only do more in-depth feeding scenes if, say, someone gets a lower hunger. Say someone goes above like 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, like this person's like actually hungry. Well, now we need to play this out.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're like constantly hovering between 1 and 0, it's like you're not really that desperate. It's you
you're
have time.
you're managing yourself. Your time management's fine, but like if you're at a point where the coterie is doing something that's like mission critical and somebody's like, fuck, I'm at hunger 4 now. I need to like sneak off in the middle of this to go snag somebody. That's a good time to like be like, okay, we'll shift the focus to them for like a second. Or if you want to do a like slice of life moment of like, oh, hey, so we haven't been covering so-and-so in the group very much. Let's go shift the focus to them and see how they go about feeding and just kind of see a night in the life of whomever in the group.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of fun things you can do with that, but do not feel pressured to go full Brennan Lee Mulligan or Critical Role where you're like everything has to be super elaborate with all these voices for every feeding scene and constantly doing things. And it's like, no, go with the ebb and flow of what works with your story. And it is good also to touch base with everybody and be like, hey, do you guys want to do more feeding scenes, less feeding scenes? If somebody's like, yeah, somebody's got a little intense and maybe they should probably have taken a stain because they were particularly like brutal during the feeding scene or callous, and decide how you want to handle things in the story. Also, predator types are a good way to sneak tension into stories.
Oh yeah,
Please use this. It is so good.
I think a big source of tension can be just having your players that point where they realize how each other feeds. Say you got a consensualist in your party, and all of a sudden one of your coterie mates just chases a dude down in an alley and like dismembers him and is like feeding off a corpse. You might be like, I'm not sure if I can continue to work with this person.
Yeah, or you have everybody in the party is feeds on Vitae normally, and then you have one organivore, and they have to could get weird where they're just like, I have to eat his liver now.
Yeah.
You're just like, what?
Yeah.
We are in an art gallery. What the fuck?
And I mean, I don't think it would necessarily have to be like opposing predator types. It could even be as simple as like, you have a character who's a really big fan of dogs, and the other person eats animals only. And you're at a dog shelter right now.
Yeah.
That could be an issue,
Yeah, especially if you want the one player's got like animalism and it's really built in like communicating with like
exactly.
Yeah, you're like,
yeah, or there's players that they've gotten sloppy with their hunting methods, and they've not killed anybody, but there's a lot of people having like vague memories of things, and then words getting around in the social groups like, hey, we can't hang around with Steve anymore because he's like fucking weird, like I don't know what's going on, but like it's gross. Or you have like a messy crit on a feed, and you got your hunger down 2-0, and now there's a corpse, and you didn't hide the corpse well enough, and now certain police officers from out of town are showing up suddenly, and it's very spicy. Or, you breach the masquerade, and the sheriff finds out, and now you're the sheriff's bitch. Because he's like, so I covered up your mistake, and now you owe me. Do these jobs now. I need you to spy on your coterie mate for me, because he's up to some shit. And you're just like, fuck!
or
Yeah,
even
that's bad.
yeah, or even more, not even about the feeding type itself, but you could even double down and have this character be a Ravnos. But say you're like a roadside killer, and your character's like, I'm hungry, I need to go on a road trip, I'll be back in a couple days. And it's like, bro, we're dealing with shit right now. And it's like, no, I need to go eat.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go eat.
I have to leave here. In fact, I need to take like a 2-hour-long car ride up north real quick.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're in a gated community, and if I do what I do here, like, we are all fucked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of fun little story beats and things you can get into, and that is kind of the core of predator types.
Huzzah!
Use it as a tool to write your stories and decide about like morality and what it means to
Feed off of the living?
yeah.
Oh God, I just had a thought.
What?
So, if you're an ST and you ever have a player who's got like a contact or an ally that they decide not to go into a lot of detail, make that person another player in the party's preference.
Oh yeah.
Like, say you've got a Ventru who's like, I only feed off like working class brunettes. Well, guess what this contact that wasn't very well described is?
Yeah, it's just like this really cool like lady mechanic that works down the street. And why is the Venture hanging out at this mechanic auto repair shop? Oh no. Oh no. Charles, I said you can't have her. Get out of here. Shoo.
I like that his name is Charles.
Yeah, no.
Charles?
Charles.
Or even someone's touchstone.
Ooh, yeah, get real spicy.
Yeah.
Kensington. No.
Things you need to discuss at session 0, but for plot, hella spicy and super fun.
Yeah.
Even if they're just like flirting with the idea of like, I could have a bite of that.
Right.
That would
That would
The
be
fuck
enough
you
to
can,
make somebody's
pal.
like little hackles go
Yeah. Yep.
start floating a little like no.
Yeah, for sure, Z's.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of ST who likes to play your characters against or your players against each other.
Or even have like a shitty NPC that everybody's like, oh, you guys, you want to establish like the BBEG just to have them be like, oh, that's your touchdown? Interesting.
That's why you keep your touchstones close.
Yeah, and they're just like, huh, do they live at blah, blah, blah address? I might be doing a home inspection.
So we might have to do a whole episode on this, but I guess my question is, from a in-game perspective, how do vampires discuss touchstones with each other? Do they call them touchstones? Do they You know, that's part of it
I
too.
don't think that you discuss it with other people. At least I
Just
wouldn't
in
as a
general,
fan.
yeah.
I think
but
you don't talk. You just kind of like, if somebody brings it up, or if you talk about something that is someone who is your touchstone, you're like, just immediately like, dope.
Yeah. And then the flip side of that, going back to the prototypes, there's a lot of times in games where, like, I do not want to disclose what the fuck my predator type is or, like, what I'm into, because then this lets my adversaries have a route to be like, oh, so they're into, they tend to feed in, like, this comedy club. Cool. We're going to send some of our guys to go fuck up shit in that club regularly so they can't go feed there. Now you got to go find something else.
Yeah.
Or they just buy the comedy club. And
This
you're
is
banned.
mine now. You have to deal with me. And it's just like,
They just buy the comedy club and then shut it down and let it rot.
Yup.
That's a shitty thing to do.
yeah, right? Yeah.
it definitely depends on your game too, but I would treat predator types, especially the names of them, the same way I would in D&D, where it's just like, you don't refer to, oh, they're the barbarian, oh, they're the rogue, oh, that is this type of wizard. Like, you embody those characters, but you probably would never use them by name. You would say, oh, he likes to, like, pick up stragglers on the highway, not like, oh, he's a roadside killer.
Yeah.
I think that makes personally. I think for D&D, like I view that as more like, this is my job. You know, a rogue would be like, no, I'm a rogue. That's I do these things. But yeah, totally for roadside killer, just be like, well, I just pick up things on the side of the road, or I just prefer to, like, you know, ask permission first.
Yeah, and you can get into some interesting flavoring in your city specifically, where, like, you could have a special nickname for certain things, or there's, like, younger kindred, because of, like, people from our age group, they really care about, like, having labels for things, but older kindred are like, why the fuck do you care? Like, that's so silly. So,
Well, it's also one of the things where, like, consensualist, I would see someone self-labeling as, or derogatorily labeling other people as, just because it's got, like, a vampiric political connotation to it.
Yeah, that
where,
feels like a slur.
Yeah, or it could go either way.
one of them goddamn SJWs.
You know, whereas something like Sandman is, like I said, so tied to, like, the vampire folklore and so, like, normal that I don't feel like it would really come up as like oh, this guy does thing. It's just like, oh, he's grabbing a bite to eat. Yeah. It's like the most, like, baseline. Yep. So I don't know. I just find that interesting, like, trying to discuss in a game that's supposed to take place in a real world these mechanical ideas. It's interesting because it's kind of pushing at the walls of, like, that line between the game and, like, the game world. So
Oh yeah, because I like some of my characters, if they ran into somebody who was an alley cat, it's like, okay, Ted Bundy. Like, fucking chill.
Yeah, you'd call him a serial killer. You wouldn't call them an alley cat. Same with, like, roadside killer. You'd be like, oh, you're a serial killer. It's
like,
not...
okay, Hitcher.
Yeah.
Like...
Even Cleaver would fall into that.
Yeah, that would just be like, okay, stepfather. I'm just calling people movie titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good time. Yeah, and it's a good way to do world building in your game. You can have a whole lexicon that's just specific for your fucking city, and that's great. It's fun. We have fun here.
That's definitely going to be more for your game. Like, if you guys don't care and you want to use very, like, gamified terms while you're playing and you're having fun, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Computer demands fun.
F is for friends who do stuff together.
U is for uranium bombs.
N is for Paralyze, who does our intro song.
Thank you.
Close.
I don't think there was an N in that whole sentence.
No.
Okay.
An intro song. There's an N.
Intro. Okay.
The ends. Look, I'm trying. I shotgunned a monster on my way in to record. I'm doing my best. Speaking of doing our best, we have a Twitter. That's at Blank Bodies. We do the social media stuff. We also have Instagram. I finally got my computer working, so hopefully we'll also have a TikTok, and maybe the youths may show up.
The youths.
So, hooray.
We also have a Discord.
Yes.
Come hang out with our Discord.
I think we're going to officially start our Patreon movie screenings.
But yeah, we're going to put up a poll. I think we're going to take turns deciding who gets to pick the movie. I personally made a letterbox list of just like 100 plus like horror movies. Most of them are vampire related. Some of them aren't. And I'm just going to roll the dice on a random number generator and we watch what we want or what we get. There's some great movies in there. There's some awful looking movies that I just threw on the list.
Yeah.
I think Bill Cosby's Ghost Dad is in there.
Oh, no.
But like, so is George Romero's Martin, which is like one of the most overlooked vampire
Oh.
movies that I love.
Martin is so good. It's very
I
70s.
just kind of want to watch the Ghost Dad movie with the crew to just be like, well, let's figure out how rapey this is now.
Let's figure out how wraithy this is now.
It's very wraithy. Yeah, Ghost Dad fits in the World of Darkness pantheon, I suppose.
Yes.
Which is a very unfortunate sentence. What is not unfortunate is our interview series. If you're interested in talking to us about games you're working on, cosplay, stream game stuff, just kind of anything ooky spooky, kooky.
Yeah, general nerdery, general horror-y. If you want to talk about a movie you and your friends are making, if you want to talk about a horror comic, the web series you do, if you want to talk about a tabletop game you're running about, spacemen doing space things.
Art stuff.
Art stuff, yeah. I just like talking to cool people.
Hell yeah.
If you're a real vampire.
Yeah, we're still trying to get one. We're working on it.
You
reaching out.
still going on that after you guys gave me the full fucking confession?
What the fuck are you talking about?
You
I've
can't
never confessed
gaslight me.
anything.
I've said nothing. But yeah, blankbodies
cannot
at
gaslight
Gmail.
me.
Blankbodies at Gmail if you want to talk to us about doing a collab or interview thing, or if we got something absolutely fucking wrong and you want to yell at us.
Yeah.
And by us, I mean the lore bot.
Yeah.
Or if there's just a suggestion on something you want to hear us talk about. I love episode ideas. We've gotten a couple from our Discord already.
Yeah.
Um,
We've got things in the pipeline. We'll be having Patreon polls for some upcoming episode-y thingy soonish.
yeah, and the Twitter poll is over. I can't remember if we announced this on the show yet,
Yeah.
but La Sombra
Sombra.
won. So
Yeah.
our next deep dive series is going to be La Sombra.
Yeah, Baja Blast. Come on.
The spooky ones who actually do things in the shadows.
Yeah, it's just, what if you like the shadows, but also Catholicism as an aesthetic?
I don't know what that would be
priest
like.
coats look fucking cool.
They do.
They look pretty
It's
cool.
trad goth, basically.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
We have a Patreon. Please check it out. We have a few different tiers. I don't know all of them, but we have them. Get on the Patreon and check them out.
Yeah, we have a small goal, so hopefully we can do more episodes for you guys like regularly.
Yeah, I believe we're about a quarter of the way to doing weekly episodes. So
Yeah.
Hey, that's great. Yeah, and if you do certain tiers, I will do character art for you. We got some movie hangout stuff. Give us your money because capitalism is bullshit. If you can afford it. If not, buy yourself bread.
Give us your
it's
money
fine.
because they'll shut me off if I don't have enough money.
yeah,
The syndicate will not keep me
Yeah.
powered.
I'd
Yeah,
rather-
we keep having to put quarters in them.
It's really obnoxious. I figured stuff in the RAM stick in that slot would have worked.
No, that was the
God.
quarter slot.
Oh,
Yeah, you wonder why that actually hurt me.
yeah. Well,
just surprised you have feelings, but
right.
I have pain receptors for the same reason you do.
I have to go apologize to my Dell.
I've said some pretty nasty things to my computer too.
Which is really weird. We have a weird file on you. You thank the Roombas, but you yell at your computer.
Well, my computer does things that it's not supposed to do. The Roomba just runs around and does his job.
It does what it does what you tell it to do. Input the commands better.
I don't know about
The Roomba hasn't overthrown capitalism yet, so
yet.
yet.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I don't know why everyone was staring at me there for a minute. Goodbye.
Goodbye now. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.